Okay, welcome to a Sunday session without the need for a barbecue. I've already had the barbecue going. So, 1839. We're going back a bit here. That's just before I was born. August 19th, which will be this Tuesday. We now celebrate that as World Photography Day because Louis Jacques Simon Dacour from France, in Paris, made the first photo. And Robert, somebody, I can't remember his last name, over in New York, used the Dacour type process, which was patented in Paris, and he took photos for the first photos in America in New York. It's a little bit of grey area about who in the world actually came up with celebrating it as World Photography Day. Indians are claiming it from 30 odd years ago. Americans are claiming it. The French are claiming it. And there's a half a dozen plus, well, I looked it up before, and I think I had over 100 hits of websites that are all claiming it. Anyway, we have World Photography Day coming up. This is my new jacket. I got it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I want to use it for actually talking to people in the street. As soon as I got this jacket, I lost this. It's probably now making a scrapings here. I lost my DJI Pocket 2 transmitter. And being a Pocket 2, it can only use that. Or a lavalier mic. Why am I speaking French today? I have no idea. I'm not good at it. The lavalier mic. So, I haven't seen Mr. Drew on for a few weeks either, but he came up with the idea of this Vox Pop concept of chatting. I'm going to go up to as many photographers as I can find on Monday and just say, did you know Tuesday is World Vlogging Day? What camera are you using? What's your Instagram tag? Do you have a YouTube? I'll come up with some questions, but each photographer will get the same questions. That makes sense. And as I keep saying, photography is a great way to help your mental health. Now, I don't know if this camera's going to follow me, but we've been playing a game of chess as well. That's another great way of, you can see the come down here camera over here. There we go, look at that. Face tracker works perfect. Chess is a really social thing to do, and I'm going to go. One of the places I'm going to go to tomorrow to chase photographers is an outdoor chess area, which people gather around, and not only photographers gather around, but students gather around, and old men gather around, people, families gather around. I've also put my microphone about 2 feet in front of me, so it's basically halfway between me and that camera. There's method in my madness here. I did a course with a movie director, a one-day course, and I took my daughter on it. A chance to try and get her interested in something other than reading books back in February. And this director said to us, the worst thing you can do when you're vlogging is have a microphone shown. And if you're interviewing someone, unless you're working for a press organisation, if you're just doing a chat backwards and forwards between two people, don't have your microphone showing. And that statement blew me away. I thought 99.9% of people I see on YouTube, me included, we have our microphones up here. We don't have our microphones, a foot or 2 foot in front of us like I've got here. So, the reason for that madness is when I'm talking to someone tomorrow, they'll be about where that camera is. That camera will be about where my fist is now. It'll be on a flying mile stick, but it'll be here. It'll be facing where you are, and the microphone will be in front of that camera. I'll have the mic actually. I'll put the lavalier mic on my wrist, so they'll be picking it up on there. I just want to see how well it actually picks up when it's not immediately under my face, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that's just a side note to that. So with World Photography Day, I said this with World Vlogging Day, and I told you to put hashtags on there. And if you've just seen my other video, since the World Vlogging Day was, which is a couple of weeks ago now, we've had 1,000 subscribers, new subscribers onto this channel. And I use those hashtags that I said, because they are actually not only getting me more subscribers, but getting YouTube or Google to recommend more people for me to watch. So there are some hashtags for World Photography Day. The most obvious one is World Photography Day and World Photography Day 2025. But if you've already got a camera, most of the companies, I just looked up Canon, but most of the companies are actually doing World Photography Day submit photos. We got a few in Australia that are doing it, but just look up your local camera joints and you can maybe able to enter your photo in. Last year I got my photo printed in a book. You may be able to get your photo represented on a website. Give you a challenge. Also gives you a chance while you're wandering around on Tuesday and you're taking photos and you see other people taking photos. Just mention to them, hey, did you know it's World Photography Day? It started in 1839 with good old Lewis and back streets of Paris, and now it's over wherever you're living now. Break some ice with people. I haven't got to the end of it yet, Russ, but these vlogs, you've got to take the opportunity to get in front of the camera. The wife's taken off for 5 minutes, so I'm taking 5 minutes over here. Russ has got a video out that came out tonight, and I think I was the 5th viewer of it, about the importance of his retail store and how talking to people has helped people when they've been in times of crisis. And he gives a couple of examples on that. And that's something, if you've watched enough of my videos the last few weeks, I have been preaching about for months now. Talk to people. But Russ also basically pointed out, it's good to talk to people, but be someone that can be talked to. So make sure you're available for people to talk to you. But it was great to watch it. I looked at it and thought, he's like my brother from another mother. It's great to hear what he's saying, because that's what I'm saying. You've got to problem talk. And yes, there's got to be someone to listen. But that is the joy of vlogging too. You can go out and make a blog if you want. You can talk to the camera. You can put it out on YouTube and you get it off your chest. He's had people come into his retail store over the last 8 years and done exactly that, got things off their chest and helped themselves out. So I'll link his video down below. It's quite good. In terms of other videos I'm going to make this week, I am running 2 vlogging channels, 2 YouTube channels at the same time. And, those people out there who say it's really hard coming up with a daily vlog, you should try running 2 channels. I'm filming... I'll have to put his tag down below. I'm terrible with names. 2 weeks ago, he brought out a video. And it's a firefighter. I wish I remember the name. Can't now. Sorry, apologies ahead of the time here, because I always watch his videos. He was taking new recruits to the firefighting department down the fire towers, the high ropes, as we call it over here, and getting them through their fear aspect, talking to them about, and his videos about fear. And it got me thinking back to a few dozen, maybe a couple of dozen, mental health courses I've been on over the last couple of years, where we talk about fear and we talk about anxiety, because one of the biggest problems from train drivers, which is what I do, is anxiety. We can get panic attacks. We can get really bad anxiety fits because we're exposed to some really terrible shit, I tell you. And I can't go into what sort of pressure we got, We got the public down here, but we got corporate up here. And corporate want this, public want this. Then some idiot jumps out in front of your train. So you've got, you can get very anxious in my line of work. And there's a very big difference between fear and anxiety, Fear is, if you saw my photo, I actually put one on Instagram. I didn't put the second one on yet, but I should have. The path that I walk home from the train station to where I live, and I walk home between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. on that path. It goes through a park. 2 of the parks that I go past out here have had 2 murders since January from street gangs killing other street gangs. So there's an anxiety level walking through them, because anxiety is, I won't go too much into this tonight, I'll do this on another video, but Anxiety is you're thinking ahead about what could happen, what consequences could come from your actions. Whereas fear is there's a saber-toothed tiger, or in my case, there's a guy standing over there with a machete. You know, there's an immediate fear of danger. And yeah, I've been walking that, and I'll get very anxious walking it, but I don't have any working cars. I've got no way to get around over the public transport, or, if it's too wet to ride the Vespa, I've got to catch a train. I nearly crashed my Vespa yesterday. The drop kick in front of me, and it's raining. I've slowed down. I'm doing 40k an hour in a 50 zone, so I'm going pretty slow. I've left the right amount of distance between me and the car in front, and I'm sitting right back. I'm doing everything. I'm 52. I'm not 21. I'm not a revette, I'm sitting right back. This car in front of me suddenly decides he wants to turn. No indicator light, no brake lights, just stops the car in the middle of the road, and I chuck on the brakes. Wet, oily road, Vespa. I ended up just about face planting on the back of his car. And, I'm not an angry person, but I was ready to get off that bike and belt the guy. And he pulled into the driveway and into his garage. And I thought, seriously, dude? An indicator. And it wasn't like he slowed down to stop. He just stopped. So you're very lucky to get a video today. I could have been in traction. But that gave me a lot of anxiety. And I still had another hour of riding to do after that in the wet. So I was anxious the whole trip into work. That's why tomorrow I'm getting back on the train. It's a lot safer on the train, believe it or not. So I'll probably call this video quits here. I've got a stack of stuff to do, but I'm going to get a video. Oh, I'd quickly go and do it before I call quits. So you're going to get a video about fear and anxiety. I'm trying to get that done, but I can't actually figure out where to film it. I can film it sitting here talking, and I might do that, but I much prefer to do it in a situation of perceived danger. I've got some pretty hot spots in the city that I hang around that I could actually do it in and have some atmosphere to the video. We have in September 11 anyway, so in a few weeks' time, is International Suicide Awareness Day, which, correlates with 9/11. And that's about getting people to talk, survivors of suicide to talk. Is 24, 2025, and 2026, those 3 years, it's awareness. They want people who have survived to talk, to try and make the world understand that, it's okay to talk about suicide. So I've never talked about it. So that's what I'll do. If I can get the courage of it. It's going to take some courage. June 1999. It's a long time ago. Anyway, we'll get spied on here. Anyway, getting me a bit emotional. I will end the video now. And yeah, I'm going to work on that. I've even got a spot to film that video. It was the suicide chat day. And I'll try and get it done. I'll go through what happened to me, and we'll talk about it. Anyway, stay safe. Chat to people. I'm getting off now. I'm going to go do things. And yeah, be prepared to listen to people. Ciao, people.